What's expected of you in the United States for the World Cup as the host nation? I can't score goals. I can't score goals myself, nor can I defend. What the heck is that, Herc?
So I sat through that hour and 29-minute interview, which was great, by the way. And a minute 40 was on the U.S. and U.S. soccer, the U.S. men's national for Mauricio Pochettino. And I don't know if you guys recalled when Mauricio Pochettino first got the job, how the illusion in his eyes, the hope, the little sparkle, it might have been the $6 million a year, but what are you going to do in the World Cup? We're going to go to win it. And now they ask him, what's expected of you in the World Cup? And he says, hey, I can't score the goals. I can't defend them. It's unbelievable to me where we have gotten today. It just screams of this man's a phony. It's what it screams. He knows how to pander to a crowd. In this interview, they asked him about Espanyol and Barcelona. He had no problem taking shots and pandering to the crowd, saying Espanyol is a much more independent club, catering to the patriotism, catering to the nationalism. And then he said Espanyol is a more Catalan club than Barcelona. He's playing to that crowd. He's giving them something to cheer for. But when it comes to the U.S., hey, let's temper expectations. We're trying to set a culture. What we really want to do is pave the way for the future. Excuse me, Mauricio Pochettino. They didn't hire you to change soccer for the next 60 years. They hired you for a tournament. They hired you to take this next team to the next level. And so far what we've seen is more of a regression. If you were to tell me he knows where he is and who his players are, I would say you're full of it. Because I don't think he's watched any of the previous finals. I don't think he knows any of the equity some of the players that are here right now or who are gone have had with this team. He doesn't know the direction they're going. He doesn't know his 11. He doesn't know the core. And watching this interview, it makes me feel like he doesn't care. What he's trying to tell you, what he's trying to tell us is, hey, if things go south at the World Cup, ain't on me.
It's difficult to argue that, isn't it?
I find it really difficult to explain what was possibly going through his mind when he's answering these questions, because he must have had some sort of idea of what it was going to be about. So at the very least, get your story straight and come out with something that's recognisable as some sense. But he didn't have any answers. He certainly didn't seem as though he was prepared, and he just came across as though he actually doesn't really know what he's doing.
Yeah, much like when players go away for national team duty and they are doing podcasts or interviews and they'll just say all these things about their clubs and about their teams and teammates, thinking that somehow those things are not going to get back to their club and to their teammates and to the other players. This felt similar, as if he's doing this podcast or this show in Spain, and as Herculez is talking about, yeah, he's pandering to the Spanish crowd and to Espanyol and Barcelona, and he's talking about that world. And this was almost as a funny throwaway answer, that he's trying to get cute. As if, like, you don't think we have people that can translate what you're saying? Right? You don't think that we can actually go through this interview and put together what you have said about the United States and how little he expects from this national team? That's what when I watch, it's not only what he's saying, it's how he's saying it. I'm not a body language expert, but it's almost like, hey.
Can you imagine if he said that about Argentina?
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if he was in charge of Argentina.
Well, here's the thing. He would never say it about Argentina, because there's jeopardy when you say something like that about Argentina. But there is no jeopardy when he says it about the United States. And so when he's talking about that mentality, that shifting culture, and he's talking about the true football mentality, he knows full well that saying what he just said about the United States, the team that he's coaching, he could not say that about Argentina. He couldn't, and he wouldn't. So he's fully taking advantage of this culture, of this, or lack thereof. He's fully taking advantage of it, and he's giving himself enough space to say whatever he wants because he knows that there are no consequences.
Where is the guidance, Herc?
It's a great question. Matt Crocker? Where's Matt Crocker throughout all this? You know, we've not heard or seen from Matt Crocker or U.S. Soccer when it comes to Mauricio Pochettino in quite some time. I would have loved to have seen, or I hope that when he took the job, he was fully aware of the program's history. He was fully aware of the Greg Berhalter era. He was fully aware and invested in who could help him, what players could help him, not grasping at straws like he is today. I don't know about you guys. You guys have lived in this country long enough, and you guys have children who play the game in this country or have played the game in this country. I grew up playing the game in this country at a youth level. This screams to me like that youth coach or the youth director that swindled his way onto a club team because he had the accent, because he said he knew the game, and all along looks down upon the American player like, no. And so when he leaves, it's going to be very simple, and they're going to take it at face value abroad. These Yanks don't know anything about soccer. It wasn't really on me. U.S. soccer's a mess. These players aren't good enough, et cetera, et cetera. It's not on Mauricio Pochettino. Look where I've been. I've been at Spurs. I've been at Chelsea, PSG. I'm probably going to be in line if United fire the coach somewhere down the line. That's what I took out of this. It just screamed of, you Yanks know nothing. Because Ali's right. Did you really think what you said wasn't going to come back to this side of the world? He's a big enough profile of a personality, of a coach, to know that his words carry weight. So if he understands that his words carry weight, it tells me that he doesn't care. He doesn't care what happens because he knows he's safe on this side.
And it's all in Spanish. You can't even play it. It's not even like a second language thing. It's crazy. Is there any chance he won't be in charge at the World Cup?
No, he will be in charge of the World Cup. At this point, I think you are heavily invested if you're the United States. You're elbow deep, knee deep into the Mauricio Pochettino experience, whatever that may be. But to Herculez' point, and it's something that he mentioned earlier, the one thing that he's yet to do, with all this talking and appearances in college football pre-games and this and that and the other, the one thing that he's yet to do is settle on a team. Settle on a team.
We're still got to settle on a team when you don't know their names.
Well, again, settle on a team, on a group of players that you can trust, can handle the pressure of a World Cup, and are able to produce performances when you need them the most. He still doesn't have that answer. And guess what? We're getting closer, and we're getting closer, and meaningful games are not happening. And so what is the next meaningful game for the United States? The game that counts for something. It's going to be at the World Cup. I don't know that that's where you want to be.
You can't score goals and you can't defend. So
then there's no problem.
it's all right.
Nothing to see here.
Do you know, I think part of the problem? I think 100% he didn't do his homework and didn't really look at the squad of players that he maybe had in front of him.
Right.
He didn't do enough digging. And I think the other thing as well, he thought, well, it's only going to be 18 months. I'll take him to the World Cup. We'll do fine. We'll get through it. Well, we might even do something crazy, and then I'll move on. And unfortunately, because of such a short space of time, he can't bail himself. Because if he bails now himself, he looks ridiculous. He looks stupid, and his reputation's in ruins. So, all around, he's made a huge mistake.
Stevie, I don't know about that. I mean, we've heard reports about him, trying to go for the Brentford job. We've heard him talk about Spurs countless times. In this same interview, he's talking about coaching Real Madrid. I don't know any serious club around the world or team around the world that doesn't see this coach or see the man leading the ship talk about others, talk about being elsewhere, and nothing happens. Here, it seems like U.S. Soccer's okay with him talking about potential suitors while he's still the coach of the U.S. men's national team. And most fans today are sophisticated enough to feel hurt by this, to feel like this man isn't the man that should lead this team in the national team in the World Cup.
It's always good.
But, like Ali says, nothing's going to happen.
It's always good to keep yourself in the news with teams like Real Madrid and all so-called other big teams. And regardless of what team it is in the Premier League, it's still the Premier League. So it's never a bad thing, regardless of whether you're the US team manager or some other country, just to keep yourself in there. I think that's what he's...
It's the voice of experience.
That's always
Hey, well, but you know what would keep him in the news? making a deep run in the World Cup.
Well, that would help.
Yeah, I mean, it's-
Thank you very much, Herc. Much appreciated. Just a reminder, of course, Herc, a regular on Football Americas. You can check out last night's show. Casey, Yanis, and Alexis talking more about the US and Luis Suarez.